How do we spot the vacant houses? How do we eyeball them? Well, somebody's got to drive neighborhoods. I mean, if you think about it, there is no list of vacant houses. Someone's going to spot them. It might even be your mail carrier or your meter reader, but somebody's got to do it. Your bird dog certainly is going to be your best resource. Postal workers, meter readers, bird dogs. You know how I feel about bird dogs. If you guys are, if you're not utilizing bird dogs, you're missing out on a huge opportunity, especially now because people are so hungry for extra income. You know, I talk about paying $5 or $10 per lead, and a lot of folks, they disconnect on that. They say, well, who in their right mind would do that for $5 or $10? Who in their right mind would do that? Well, I don't know. Who's put an ad on Craigslist looking for bird dogs and sent them to and what happens when you do that? Oh my gosh. You say, am I ever glad I'm using iFlip? Because if I wasn't, I'd have to take all those phone calls. But then isn't it also true that most of them don't produce squat? Yes. So that's human nature. But the fact is, this is probably one of the best times we're ever going to see, because of unemployment and the need for extra income, to recruit bird dogs. And how many good ones that produce do you really need to have all the leads, all the vacant house leads you could handle? A couple. Two, maybe three, depending on how big the area you're working. That's it. Okay, so bird dogs, we can attract them with classified ads. With compensation, I made a note here just so that we talk about it. By the way, I regularly get asked, should I pay my bird dog a $500 or whatever, $1,000 spiff when I buy the house? If you've been around me a while, I used to say yes. Now I say no. And I'll tell you why. Because two big reasons. One, if you pay a bird dog some amount of money as a result of your successful purchase of the house, they are in effect and could be accused of acting as an agent without a license. Because what agents do is they put buyers and sellers together and they get money for doing that. And that's kind of what you're doing when you pay a bird dog. When you pay them $10 a lead, well, that's an advertising or a marketing expense on your part, and it's a completely different animal. Here's the other reason I don't recommend it anymore, and I had to learn this myself the hard way, is because when the bird dogs know they're going to get paid a big hunk of dough when you buy, they're going to ride you and bug you and want to know what the status of every deal is, and you're going to all of a sudden find yourself accountable to the bird dog, which isn't so much fun. So I just pay them up front, give them whatever you deem necessary per lead, and that be the end of it. Per lead. Yes, that's how we do it. It's bonus or spiff. No. Independent contractor agreement. The idea is we don't want the bird dog to be our employee, because when they're our employee, then we're really supposed to be withholding their federal income tax and paying FICA on their behalf and withholding their part, unemployment taxes and benefits and all that, and it becomes complicated. Whereas if they're an independent contractor, you pay them and they're on their own. And by the way, there is not a year that goes by in my world where I don't have somebody refuse to give me a W-9. And what do? I talk to my accountant. What's he tell me? Talk to your accountant. So what if they don't produce? Get rid of them. Delete them. Get them out of your database. You know, sometimes I'll have people, they'll come to me and they'll say, I ran an ad on Craigslist, I got 30 bird dogs, and not one of them has submitted a single lead. What do I do? What do you do? Run the ad again. Because you're not keeping track of their information, the database is doing it, you're not even taking their phone calls. If you have 3,000 bird dogs, it isn't going to take any more of your time. So run the ad and get the 2 or so that you need to produce the leads that you want to have coming across your desk. And until you have those 2, keep running the ad. Oh, and by the way, are there people on Craigslist that are jerks? Sure there are. Sure there are. And somebody was telling me at the break, oh, I ran my ad for a bird dog, and somebody ran an ad right after it said, that bird dog thing's a scam. Well, there's always some jerk out there who feels like they aren't heard. And that's what Craigslist is for.